Hi people, more innovation by Kirkin as always and as usual. Yeah, you can see what time it is. It's time to talk about the Greek god Dionysus. Now, before I continue, you can find the source that I'll be reading from Encyclopedia Britannica, as well as the Wikipedia article, because that one is considerably longer, to say the least, as opposed to the summary that I'll be reading, linked in the description of this video and or consult the end screen if you're unfamiliar with this pagan god. Now, in short, Dionysus was one of the major, similar to Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Dionysus was a major Greek god, so a major pagan god from ancient times. So yeah, let's dive right in. Dionysus, Greek god of vegetation and fruitfulness, known especially as the god of wine and ecstasy. His Roman equivalent was Bacchus. He was known to the ancient Mycenaeans and he became one of the most important of all Greek gods. A son of Zeus and, according to the standard tradition, Semele or Semele, he was brought up by the Maenads or Bacchantes. The first creator of wine, he traveled widely teaching the winemaking art with the following of satyrs, Sileni, and nymphs. Festivities called Dionysa, or amongst the Romans, Bacchanalia, were held in his honor. In their earlier years, they were wild, ecstatic occasions, and they have often been the subject of artistic representation. Dionysus originally appeared as a bearded man, but later more often as a slim youth. His principal attribute was the thyrsus, a wand bound with vine leaves. The Ditrium, a choral hymn in his honor, is often seen as the basis of Western drama. So yeah, Uh, anyways, that was a summary regarding Dionysus. Um, yeah, a funny thing. The thing is that I covered like a lot of pagan gods, well-known pagan gods within Western tradition. The most popular ones, like the ones from the Greek pantheon and Egyptian pantheon and whatnot, years ago. Okay, when I wasn't even as remotely strong as I am now. We're talking about like 6 years ago. Yeah, 2018, 2019. So yeah, he simply made the comment, thank you for covering me after so many years. After having covered my brothers, it's finally my turn. But of course, he meant that in a constructive way, not the adverse, so not negatively meant. Yeah, let's start off with appearances. The appearance, and speaking of appearances, as well as his description in terms of capabilities and whatnot, is at least for the most part correct. So he's one of those pagan gods that has little to nothing in the way of surprises. What his followers worshipped him for, that's what he brings to the table in terms of working with an occultist and whatnot. So as an entity, as a spirit, what if you were to work with him, what can you expect from him? What can he deliver unto you? What can he bestow onto you? And yeah, that's it. As a appearance, as mentioned, it's just that an ancient Greek looking man that is bearded, but the beard is optional, wearing a white robe or a toga, with essentially like a laurel wreath around his head, but that's also optional. But it's made out of wine vines. It's made out of vines from wine plants or similar. S- when I say laurel wreath, think of what Jesus wore essentially, like with crucifixion and whatnot. But it's instead of made from thorns, it's made from wine leaves or similar with tiny grapes hanging from it, and it just goes on. For the rest, he also holds grapes in his hand and a bunch of other things, one or two other things, like a pleasure trumpet, if you will, like the kind they play at parties, the one that's like folded. Um, but of course, that's more symbolic. I don't even know if those existed back in the day, but it doesn't matter. It's symbolic either way. Um, and I asked him, or I told him, obviously, to show me what he's all about. Not meant negatively towards him, just plain told him, okay, show me what you're all about. And I saw all the things you saw that are mentioned, what he's about, festivity, etc. I saw a giant party in the background, like the way the ancient Greeks used to party, the way you see in paintings, a bunch of blondes, essentially Greek elites, just partying and stuff, and indulging in all kinds of pleasures, which includes sodomy and um, and just regular sex. So it's like bluntly put, some kind of intergender or multigender gangbang mixed with just pleasure, food, and and telling jokes and whatnot. All of those things combined, literally just all of those things, like literally like just like some kind of ecstasy based party. Um, um, And for the rest, what he offers the average individual, of course, he's essentially, generally speaking, more prominent with men than with women as a male deity. No, I'm just pointing that out. Not that it matters all too much, but generally speaking, what he offers to guys or just the people that work with him overall is self-sufficiency. That's the most important trait. The ability to take care of yourself, like, hey, stand on your own 2 feet, be independent as a human being, be independent, like bluntly put, being able to wipe your own ass, like that. Okay, I don't want to sound vulgar, but I couldn't think of another example. Um, and just overall development on a day-to-day basis. We're talking about just being developed, developed in the sense of other than being able to take care of yourself, to to be able to improve upon daily life, to optimize daily life. Um, and the whole taking care of yourself also obviously applies to the hectic and tense situations. Like back then, it was more warfare oriented, battle oriented, spear, shield, and sword type. But in a modern day context, it would be more tense situations, situations that require you to have a firm grasp on on just that, the situation as a whole, and or to put your foot down firmly. Yeah, he can do all of that. Agriculture is also on the table, but there are limitations. I also saw that. Um, a limitation in the sense of if the land is fertile, then he can't help you. Like, sorry, can't help you. Land is fertile. It's infertile, sorry. So if the land has offers nothing in the way of a plentiful bounty, then or has the opportunity to see to that, then there's nothing he can do. So don't expect him to automatically, like, as a farmer or someone that wants to plant stuff, to just automatically improve the soil. He doesn't do that. Okay, he can help you like with the basics on agriculture and how to become an ignore that, and how to become a good agricultural specialist, but not in that regard. Okay, not including how fertile the soil is and all the other conditions and circumstances that lead around that. No, he's restricted in that regard and
Hi,
aspect.
Marino. You've got mail.
Um, Let me see if there's anything else I forgot. Oh yeah, last but not least, his attributes. Zodiacally, he aligns with the zodiac signs, not just one. So it's two. He aligns with more than one. Gemini and Cancer. Gemini officially, Cancer arguably is more potent, but officially I would stick with Gemini. So that would make him Mercurial. Again, it's not a black and white issue. You can use mercurial correspondences, planetarily speaking, lunar correspondences as well, but I still considerably recommend the former rather than the latter. Oh yeah, last but not least, working with him. Let's just say you're an occultist, you want to work with him. In addition to everything I already said, or any kind of spirit worker, you work with him. In addition to everything I already said, he'll make you more enthusiastic and impulsive. Okay. In relation to day-to-day life and interacting with other people and whatnot. And that can go both ways. It can have a beneficial effect or also an adverse effect. If you're a man, um, in relation to interaction with women, it can go two ways, honestly. Women will actually like that. Let's just say you were a shy guy. He'll all of a sudden make it so that you'll like start slapping women's asses and stuff like that. Like a woman or a girl you'd like, all of a sudden you'll slap her ass, or you'll behave in a mischievous manner, and at the same time you'll still um display a level of self-confidence that is unlike you. This is an extreme example, but bear with me. And again, it can go both ways. Woman will either like it, she'll be shocked for sure either way, or the opposite, she'll dislike it with all the negative consequences that follow. Doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to file some kind of lawsuit against you for sexual harassment, but she'll simply be like, "Don't touch me, asshole," or something like that. And you're going to cheekily laugh it off because Dionysus is flowing through you, so to speak, and it just goes on. You'll make an impression either way, especially if you're generally speaking the opposite of what Dionysus offers. You're more a quiet, reserved type. Dionysus will act like the drunk grandpa at a party, so to speak, that or drunk uncle at a party that like grabs women by the ass and stuff like that, and it just goes on. In addition to what I already said, a lot more virtue, honestly. That's only one of the last attribute I mentioned is the only one I can think of that can possibly have negative consequences. For the rest, he offers nothing but virtue, like I said. And that is all, guys. Bye.